this week, guys, because as you may know, we have the PEPP Talk presents the Stylist event in a few days time. So if you haven't got your tickets, grab them now. There is a link below. Please grab your tickets now. And for the people that have, thank you. I will see you there. We're gonna have such a good time, guys. The panel is amazing. Like I keep saying, we have Alexis Knotts, who is a celebrity fashion stylist, Mark Berkey, who is style director for Spring Studios, Albana, who is a stylist at Harvey Nichols, and we have Tony Blaze, who is a freelance stylist and a junior editor at Wonderland magazine and Roller Coaster magazine. So guys, it's gonna be good and I can't wait to see you all there. Keeping on the topic of events, I am going to speak about 3 events that I've been to in 2015 and 2016 and the kind of key takeaways I have gotten from those. You guys know that I love events, even to the point where I go by myself. There is no shame in that. If you do that, good on you. It's not always good to wait on friends because sometimes they just don't get it together. So if you need to go by yourself, please do. I send emails out as well about the events that I'm going to, and I always go to them. So if you want to join me, feel free. So sometime last week I went to an event and the guest speaker was the amazing Anya Hindmarch. If you're not too familiar with her, she is the woman that puts stickers on the map. Well, not on the map, but she put them on the bag, the handbag. She came up with this genius idea to create leather stickers that stick really easily and don't damage your handbags. And since she did that, honestly, a lot of brands have copied and a lot of high street companies have copied too. But we all love a bargain, so it's not a bad thing. But yeah, Anya Hindmarch is who put it on the map. So yeah, Anya Hindmarch is who put it on the map. And I read on the Business of Fashion that in 2 seasons she made $18 million from these stickers. Guys, if that doesn't impress you, I don't know what will. 2 seasons is roughly 12 months. Making 18 millions from things that stick onto your product, not even your main product, things that stick onto your main product is incredible. Anya within herself is making major strides within the fashion industry and constantly thinking of ways to make her brand fun, exciting, and also really accessible. So being the mummy of PEPP Talk, I had to go up there and rep for my brand and ask a bit of a cheeky question, which was about her crisp packet bag. So obviously I went in for the kill, straight to the jugular, and asked her about her crisp packet bag. And if you don't know this bag, it's actually the one that Solange used to whack Jay-Z at the Met Gala a few years ago. Now, when this happened, obviously there was like surveillance footage in the lift. The media went crazy and was like, whose bag is this? Whose bag is this? What company produced this bag? Whose sample was Solange wearing? Blah, 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 blah. So I put up my hand and I said, hey Anya, I'm Dior. Thank you for doing this talk today. But my question is about the Met Gala issue, and her face went, ooh. But no, she was honestly really fine about it and we had a good laugh. I asked her how she managed to control the situation because obviously the press were going a bit crazy about it. And as a brand, you want to protect your brand, but you also want to remain respectful of the person who the story is about, which is the Knowles family, the Carter Knowles family. What she said was that the next day they called a bit of an emergency meeting in the office. Everyone gathered round and the big question was, what are we going to do? Are we going to ignore this? Because some newspapers are reporting that they want to know who the bag belongs to and it's ours, so we want to claim it. Or do we ignore it and almost wait for the story to disappear like all stories do? So they called up their PR office in New York, because obviously the incident happened in New York, and said, hey, what should we do about, you know what? New York being New York was like, absolutely nothing. We should do nothing. It's insulting to the family to bring it up, and we should just ignore it and wait for the whole thing to blow away. But Anya didn't really want to do that. She thought, no, I want to capture this moment, you know, although it is a bit of a crazy fiasco, I want my brand to be remembered through this. So what they did is they came up with a campaign. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but if not, jump on Google right now. It will come straight up and type in Anya Hindmarch crisp packet bag and you'll see the advertisement they actually put out after. So what they did is they took a beautiful picture of the bag in all its glory. On the top they put the crisp packet bag, and then underneath they put worth fighting for. I literally think that is the most brilliant piece of PR that you will see in fashion. A lot of brands would have kind of shied away from that moment and not claimed it and not been fun with it, but Anya thought, you know what, my brand is cool, it's funky, it's fun at the best of times. So let's speak to that, like let's really use this moment to show people who we are. And I thought it was done really tastefully. It wasn't poking fun at the situation too much, but at the same time there was that slight humour, and it's almost like if you know, you know. So yeah, we had a good laugh about that. Actually the whole audience started laughing, and a lot of people were like, oh, that was your bags. And she actually told me that I had good fashion knowledge. So guys, I am co-signed. I would say for that story, the key word for that is protect. She found a way to protect her brand while still living up to what the brand's key values are. And if you look at PR, that's usually what it's about. It's usually about finding ways to protect what the core of the brand is, but still reaching out to customers and sending messages. So that was one really, really good kind of successful event story. The next story I want to tell you, it's not really about fashion. This event I went to was called Into the Gram, and it was put on by My Social Media PA, so it's a social media company, and they had really cool speakers, so I definitely wanted to get down there and sit in the audience and sit at the front with my little note. Actually, I don't take a notepad, I always put notes in my phone, but never mind. So yeah, Into the Gram, really, really great event. That was back in 2015, so a little while ago, but I honestly will always remember this key speaker. Okay, I'll say I remember him, but I don't remember his name. But anyway, his company is called Hey, and they are a protein food company. They make, I think it's ice cream or yogurt. Google it, you'll find it. But yeah, they make a product, an edible product. What stood out to me about this was how tenacious he was and how much he was willing to promote his brand at any cost. Right, this is the story. So he started the brand with virtually no money. Like he had minus, he was in the minus basically. He sold everything, moved into a friend's flat, was sleeping on the floor, but he believed in his brand so much that he was willing to do whatever it took to make it successful. At this point, he had decided with his business partner that they wanted to get the product in a premium supermarket. How do they go about this? They have no sales figures. All they have is a business plan and a dream and a great product, which helps. But you can walk into a big meeting like that and they're possibly going to shut you down because where is your experience? Who have you pitched to before? Where is your product being sold? They couldn't actually back up any of those requirements from the client. So he thought, what is another way that I can do this? How can I be creative and crafty and find a way to get my brand in this supermarket? For me, honestly, this was like a stroke of genius. I was sitting in the audience looking like, wow, you are amazing. Like your mind thinks you're in Mars. You work in a different world to the rest of us. So what he did was he found out where the head buyer lived, and he obviously knew where the head office was. If you know where someone works and you know where they live, you're pretty much going to figure out their commute. So he knew how she got to work, basically, what buses she took, what trains she took. This is low-key stalking, and like I said in the last video, I don't promote stalking, but you gotta do what you gotta do for your brand. So yeah, he found out where she lived and where she worked, found out her route to work, and with all the money they had in the company, he paid for one billboard. And that billboard happened to be, well, not happened to be, was intentionally on her route to work. So what he wanted, the effect he wanted, was for her to see it on the way to work and see it on the way back from work. Meaning she will definitely get a glimpse of his brand 2 times a day, right? The first day she probably wouldn't notice, the second day she may not too, but over some time she's gonna, you know, glance at that poster. Also went on LinkedIn, found out who all her friends were and started promoting the product to them and sending them free products, so that they would get talking about it quite organically, and within some time they will start feeding that information to her and say, hey, have you tried this product? Especially if it's good, they're naturally going to speak about it. Word of mouth is still the strongest and most organic form of PR that anyone can pray for their brand. with that said, get talking about Peppy Your Talk. But anyway, so yeah, he did that and that worked. He then rang her up and said, hey, I am the co-founder of Wei ice cream or yogurt, whatever it was. Can I have a meeting? Is she gonna decline you? Of course she's not, because now she feels like it's a successful brand. I've seen it places, it's in my mind. The name is in her mind. Not only that, the name is on her friend's lips and it's been recommended to her. He got the meeting, and guys, when I tell you, he got so much of his product on their shelves, and to this day it's still being stocked in that supermarket. How amazing is that? You literally sometimes have to think outside of the box. So for me, the keyword from that story was promote. How are you promoting? Some of you may not have brands, which is fine. Some of you may have services like Peppy Your Talk is, or you may have yourself. You are your own walking, talking company. So consider all the ways you can promote yourself. What are the creative and cool and quirky ways can you really get yourself out there and get people talking about you? Because like I said, that is the most organic form of PR, and that is always going to be free. You don't have to pay people to speak about you, especially if you've got something that they like. They're naturally going to do it. We have protect, we have promote, and now we're going to speak about people. Who are your tribe? Right, so I went to an event at the London College of Fashion, and the event was called Future of Fashion, but Alexa Chung was not there. It's actually not affiliated with that series she did at all, but it was still good. And it was put on by one of the tutors who runs the course there. So this event in particular, there have been two and I've been to both. This one was with Patrick Cox, and I don't know about you, but I grew up on Ebony magazine. It was always in my house. My aunt had a subscription. So we had an Ebony come through the door every single month. Every single issue had an advertisement for Patrick Cox shoes. And when I think about Patrick Cox, I always think about pastors, church uncles and dads and all those types of people, because the particular styles that were advertised in Ebony were really kind of unclish and quite garish and very I have arrived footwear, if you know what I mean. You know those uncles that just love doing way too much. Yeah, they would be the ones that will be seeing those Patrick Cox shoes. But don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic designer. He's actually done a lot of work for the British footwear scene. He's worked with Vivienne Westwood, he's worked with a lot of couturiers, he's been the head designer for certain brands, and yeah, he's done really well for himself. So I'm not bad mouthing him and saying he's like an uncle designer, but that's what I saw in Ebony. He spoke about moving to London to study at the London College of Fashion, which is pretty cool because he was back there speaking, and starting his brand in 1985 and then walking away from the brand in 2007 because he no longer held the majority share and felt like he had no control. And actually a really key thing he said was, if you own less than 50% of your name, so if your brand is in your name and you own less than 50%, you are no longer a boss and you are now an employee. That was really interesting. So he started off with speaking about how he left his brand, Patrick Cox, in 2007, I believe, and he's now started another brand, which is actually using his middle name because he can no longer use his first name and surname, which is Patrick Cox, right? So Patrick started this brand, and because he's had so many years experience within the industry, he knew exactly what he was doing. And when he was ready to launch, he went to all these big department stores in America and was like, hey, remember me? I'm back with Lethbridge. Let's get some of my footwear on your shelves. So obviously, if you've had a brand in fashion and you come back, you feel like people are going to receive you and be open to you. It's like, hey, I arrived a long time ago. I just went to the toilet to powder my nose, but yeah, I'm here again. But nah, they were not having it, and guess why? Because of this gorgeous, annoying, fun, cool, heart-wrenching app called Instagram. And they were like, sorry, no, because you don't have enough followers, you don't have enough engagement, there's no celebrity speaking about you, there's no blogger speaking about you. Who are your people? And it was like, whoa, that was a huge wake-up call for him, because 20 years ago, Instagram didn't exist, and obviously he knew the power of social media, but he didn't realize how important and integral it was in launching and kind of promoting a brand. You have to have your presence on social media. More importantly, you have to have your people who are your tribe, the ones that are bigging you up and really screaming about you at the top of their lungs to their people, and then their people will go on to their people, and it's a huge domino effect, and that's essentially what they are looking for, you know. That was a bit of a surprise for me, because I thought, wow, like, give him some time, you know, let him launch the brand and then get the ball rolling. But they were like, no, we want it now. And then Patrick went on to say something that shocked me even more, which was that rappers and the hip-hop culture are kind of helping these department stores churn out these shoes every month. They are the ones helping them make their figures every month. I was like, whoa, I thought these brands kind of didn't want these rappers in their designs or want them in their footwear, but actually the hip-hop culture is doing a lot for the footwear industry. And picture this, if there are 4,000 different styles of footwear in a men's department, right, 10 styles make up the department's money. 10 of the 4,000, that is crazy. And the chances are those 10 are making so much money for the department purely because you have a Rick Ross, or you have a Future, or you have a Drake, or whoever in that design. For example, look at the red Moncler jacket that Drake wore in Hotline Bling. That jacket was sold out internationally 2 days after that video came out. There is power in the hip-hop industry. So if you are into fashion and that's all you ever want to do not turn anyone away that says, hey, do you want to come to a music party with me? Because you don't know who you're going to meet there, and you don't know how you can kind of create some synergies and get some good energy going, and I don't know, maybe a collaboration or just meeting a friend, you know, like, I don't need to be street rat and constantly be outside just being aimless and doing nothing. But think outside of the box. Don't only do things that pertain to what you are doing right now, because that is kind of limiting yourself. Just don't know where your next bit of inspiration is going to come from. You just don't know who you're going to meet. You just don't know what key piece of information that's going to stick in here and help you kind of create your next project or whatever. Be out there, go to events, meet people, network, and have your brain constantly ticking and thinking again. So with that said, I hope to see all of you on Wednesday at the PEPP Your Talk Presents the Stylist event. If you are not a stylist, that is fine, neither am I. I've actually never wanted to style anyone. But I love the styling industry because there is this huge emphasis in London on personal style. It's less about trends and it's more about how you interpret things and how you put things on, and the little ways you make a difference in how you dress. So I've always like had an interest in style in that sense. Never wanted to style anyone, but very intrigued about that industry. And the speakers come from all levels of the styling world. Mark is really luxury, Alexis is fashion, celebs, Albana, she's actually studying towards a swimwear and a lingerie degree at the moment as well, so she has her hands in all sorts of pies. And Tony, she's done the magazine stuff, she knows about these editorials, and she knows about freelance and managing her money and kind of booking jobs in that way. So guys, there's something for everyone. You don't have to be a stylist. Come along and let's meet up and speak and hug it out and socialize and just have some fun. It's gonna be wine, like that's enough of a reason to be out. Like, let's just sip some wine together. But for now, I'm gonna say bye, but only for a few hours, maybe 48 hours, because I'll see you at the event on Wednesday. But I'm gone again, so love you, see you later, bye bye.